Dear seeker, have you ever paused to wonder what unseen hand shaped the destiny of Paramhansa Yogananda's mission to the world? We see Yogananda's radiant presence crossing the ocean, we hear his divine words echoing in the west, but behind it all stands a silent, timeless master, Maha Avatar Babaji. Without him, the mission would never have taken birth. For Babaji is not merely a saint of history, he is the eternal current of divine will, quietly arranging the steps of great souls, like a celestial gardener planting seeds across generations. It was Babaji who called Lahiri Mahasaya to the Himalayas, not by chance, but by destiny. It was he who whispered to Sri Yukteswar at the Kumbh Mela, planting the vision of harmony between East and West. And it was he who, like a hidden wind, propelled Yogananda toward America, guiding him to carry the nectar of Kriya Yoga to thirsty souls across the globe. Can you see, dear seeker, how this invisible chain was woven with precision, as though heaven itself drew a map for humanity's awakening? The world often imagines missions as the work of one shining figure. Yet, true divine work is never solitary, it is always part of a cosmic plan. Yogananda was the radiant torchbearer, but the hand that lit the flame was Babaji's. He always teaches his disciples, when the time is ripe, I send the messenger. When the hearts are ready, I open the path. Without Babaji, Yogananda's journey would have remained a dream. With Babaji, it became a river that still flows, carrying light into countless lives. This is the mystery of divine planning, silent, invisible, yet more powerful than any earthly empire. Dear seeker, when we speak of Babaji as the silent architect, we enter a realm beyond ordinary history. He is not a figure bound by centuries, nor a saint whose life can be measured by earthly years. Babaji is the eternal, ever-living presence in the Himalayas, dwelling in a state of divine communion. Like the stillness of a mountain peak, he acts without noise, and yet his influence resounds across ages. Babaji does not move with the urgency of time, for time itself bends to his will. He builds silently, guiding chosen disciples, arranging meetings, planting visions, all with the care of one who sees centuries as moments. His way is not to command with force, but to inspire with grace. He teaches, serve without seeking recognition, uplift without leaving a shadow of self. In this, we glimpse why he is called the Deathless One. His mission is not to be worshipped as an image, but to work unseen, like the roots of a great tree that nourish every branch without being seen. In the divine plan of Kriya Yoga, Babaji stood as the unseen architect. It was he who decided that this ancient science, once hidden in the caves of yogis, must now flow into the homes and hearts of ordinary men and women. Just as a river carves valleys silently over millennia, Babaji prepared the stream of Kriya to flow into the modern world. And though his name remains whispered more than shouted, his touch can be felt in every genuine practice of Kriya Yoga, in every seeker who hungers for union with the divine. To call him the silent architect is to honor his eternal humility. He builds not monuments of stone, but pathways of light in the hearts of seekers. Dear seeker, the divine plan took its first earthly step through the meeting of Babaji and Lahiri Mahasaya in the high Himalayas. It was no accident, no casual encounter, but the moment when heaven bent low to touch earth. Lahiri, a humble government clerk, had wandered into the sacred mountains on duty. Yet, destiny had guided his steps, for Babaji was waiting. In that silent wilderness, the eternal master revealed himself, not as a distant myth, but as a living presence, glowing with the light of eternity. Babaji initiated Lahiri Mahasaya into the sacred science of Kriya Yoga, whispering, "This is the key to liberation. Spread it among sincere souls. Let it not remain hidden in monasteries, but let householders too taste this nectar." With these words, the ancient barriers fell. For centuries, such practices were reserved for renunciants, but Babaji, through Lahiri, opened the gates of divine realization to all, fathers, mothers, workers, scholars, every seeker longing for God. Lahiri returned to the plains not as the same man, but as a silent prophet living among ordinary people. In his small home, seekers gathered, and the current of Kriya began to flow. He became the living testimony that spiritual greatness does not depend on outer renunciation, but on inner communion. Babaji's plan was clear: the world was changing, and the truth must now live not only in caves, but in cities, homes, and hearts. Thus, Lahiri Mahasaya became the first link in the golden chain, the seed planter of Babaji's vision. His disciples multiplied, and the light spread like ripples in water. And behind it all, Babaji remained the silent giver, guiding unseen, ensuring that the ancient science would never again be lost to humanity. Dear seeker, after Lahiri Mahasaya sowed the seed of Kriya in the soil of ordinary lives, the next step of Babaji's divine plan was to give that growing tree a strong foundation of wisdom. For this, Babaji turned to a disciple of Lahiri, Swami Sri Yukteswar, the sage of Serampur. If Lahiri was the seed planter, Sri Yukteswar was the careful gardener, pruning, shaping, and giving structure to the blossoming vision. In 1894, during the great Kumbh Mela in Allahabad, Babaji appeared before Sri Yukteswar in radiant form. It was a meeting hidden from the multitudes, yet more significant than any worldly gathering. Babaji spoke words that revealed the next stage of the plan: East and West must meet. Science and spirituality must be united. Write a book to show their underlying harmony. Thus was born the Holy Science, a scripture of synthesis that bridged the apparent gulf between reason and revelation, between modern thought and eternal truth. Sri Yukteswar was not only a scholar of scriptures, but a man of penetrating wisdom and stern love. Under his guidance, disciples learned discipline, clarity, and inner strength. He always reminded seekers that spirituality must be practical, grounded in truth, not lost in vague sentiment. Through him, Babaji ensured that Yogananda's future mission would not be a passing inspiration, but a firmly rooted movement, able to withstand the test of time and doubt. Think of him, dear seeker, as the divine bridge. Without Sri Yukteswar, the light of Lahiri's Kriya might have remained scattered in small circles. Through his training, the lineage was given order, direction, and intellectual strength. He became the bridge that joined Lahiri's living current with Yogananda's coming world mission, an indispensable link in the golden chain woven by Babaji. Dear seeker, when the time ripens, the fruit must be carried beyond its native soil, and so it was with Babaji's plan. After Lahiri Mahasaya planted the seed and Sri Yukteswar built the bridge, the destined messenger appeared, Paramhansa Yogananda. Even before his birth, currents of divine will were moving, for Babaji had already declared, "The West is thirsting for this nectar. I will send my messenger." Yogananda was chosen to be that messenger, born not merely as a man, but as a luminous channel of a greater design. From childhood, Yogananda's heart burned with longing for the divine. His restless search brought him to Sri Yukteswar, whose stern love prepared him as a sword is sharpened for battle. It was no ordinary training, but a shaping of body, mind, and spirit to endure the storms of a foreign land, to stand unshaken before doubt, and to carry a universal message. Through Yogananda, Babaji's plan leapt beyond the sacred soil of India into the wide world. In 1920, as Yogananda set sail for America, he carried more than his own dreams. He carried Babaji's blessing, the silent authority of a master whose will spans centuries. In Boston, in Los Angeles, in every hall where he spoke, a hidden power stirred hearts, for it was not merely Yogananda's voice, it was Babaji's current flowing through him. Behind every initiation into Kriya, behind every page of autobiography of a yogi, stood the unseen guidance of the Himalayan master. Thus, Yogananda became the radiant torchbearer, illuminating lands far from the Ganges. He fulfilled Babaji's vision of uniting East and West, showing that truth belongs not to one culture or creed, but to the eternal soul. Yogananda's mission was the flowering, but the root was always Babaji. Dear seeker, when we look at history, we often see only the visible figures, the teachers, the books, the movements. But behind them flows a hidden current, a divine thread binding all together. This is the invisible chain of Babaji's plan. Each link was perfectly forged, each soul chosen with care, so that the ancient light of Kriya Yoga could travel from Himalayan silence to the wide world. The first link was Babaji himself, the eternal source, dwelling in timelessness yet moving gently within time. The second was Lahiri Mahasaya, the householder prophet who proved that spiritual greatness need not be bound to monasteries alone. The third was Sri Yukteswar, the stern and wise bridge, uniting East and West through reason and revelation. And the fourth was Paramhansa Yogananda, the radiant messenger who carried this current across oceans, planting it in millions of seeking hearts. See how perfect the design is, dear seeker. Remove one link, and the chain collapses. Without Babaji, there would be no Lahiri. Without Lahiri, no Sri Yukteswar. Without Sri Yukteswar, no Yogananda. Without Yogananda, the world might never have heard the liberating word, Kriya Yoga. This is not coincidence, it is divine architecture. Babaji once said, "When the time is ripe, I send the messenger." Through this invisible chain, he fulfilled his promise. Though centuries may pass, the chain does not rust or break. It still lives, not in books alone, but in the living practice of every sincere seeker. When you sit in silence, when you breathe with devotion, when you practice Kriya with faith, you too are linked to that golden chain. You may not see it with your eyes, but you can feel it with your soul, the touch of Babaji's eternal guidance, flowing through the lineage into your heart. Dear seeker, you may ask, did Babaji's role end with Yogananda? The truth is deeper. Babaji's presence cannot end, for he is not bound by time, nor by the limits of one mission. He is the eternal yogi, the guardian of Kriya, the silent protector of all sincere seekers. Though his physical form may remain unseen, his guidance flows like a hidden river beneath the soil of life, nourishing every soul that thirsts for God. Babaji always teaches, when you practice sincerely, I am with you. This is not a promise of mere comfort, but of living presence. Every time you sit in meditation and turn inward, every time your breath flows with devotion, you are entering his current. The same current that touched Lahiri in the Himalayas, that inspired Sri Yukteswar at the Kumbh Mela, that empowered Yogananda to cross the seas, flows into you as well. Understand, dear seeker, that Babaji is not a distant myth, but a reality more present than the air you breathe. His way is not to appear in grandeur to all, but to silently touch the hearts of those who are ready. Some may never see his form, yet they will feel his guidance in sudden intuition, in unexpected strength, in the quiet assurance that they are not walking alone. Thus, the chain of grace continues, unbroken, linking past to present, Himalayas to the world, saints to seekers. To feel Babaji's presence is to realize that the mission did not end with Yogananda, it is alive within you. If you open your heart, if you live with sincerity, you too become a part of his living work. For Babaji is not only guiding history, he is guiding your soul, here and now. Dear seeker, as we reach the close of this sacred reflection, let us gather the threads of this divine story. Without Babaji, Yogananda's mission would never have unfolded. It was Babaji who planted the seed in Lahiri Mahasaya, who shaped Sri Yukteswar as the bridge, who sent Yogananda as the messenger. What we see today, the spread of Kriya Yoga, the awakening of countless souls, is the flowering of a plan written not by man, but by the hand of eternity. Remember, Babaji is not only the architect of the past, he is the guide of the present, the silent companion of your journey. When you practice with devotion, you join that invisible chain. When you meditate with sincerity, you stand in the same current that carried Yogananda across the seas. When you call with love, Babaji's grace answers, not always in words or visions, but in the deep knowing that you are never alone. So, dear seeker, take courage. Walk your path with humility and strength, knowing that the timeless Master watches over you. Let Yogananda's mission live through your practice, your kindness, your light. And as you honor the lineage, know that Babaji's blessing is already within your heart. If this message has touched you, share your feelings in the comments below. Tell us how you feel Babaji's guidance in your life, or how Yogananda's mission has inspired your soul. Your words may inspire another seeker who is silently searching. And now, let us close with reverence and gratitude. To Babaji, to Lahiri Mahasaya, to Sri Yukteswar, and to Yogananda, we bow with folded hands. Jai Gurudev.